Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I tried to film this 2 seconds ago and it didn't come out very well, so this is my second try doing this. Hopefully it'll turn out better this time. I wanted to make a video because I'm really excited about something that I did a couple days ago. I got my nipples pierced. Both of them at the same time, and it was an experience for sure. So that's what we'll be talking about in today's video. If you have a beverage, you should cheers to nipples. There's an image for that. I'm gonna try to find it. So I used to be a very modest person, believe it or not. I used to be the kind of bitch who would not say the names of certain body parts when I was growing up. And it's not because my parents and I were religious or anything, it's just who I was as a person. Now as an adult, I work in lingerie and I just don't care anymore. I will say any body part, I don't care. I somehow grew up to be a very free the nip kind of person. And I even have a sign devoted to that hanging in the hallway right now. It's not that I personally am walking around with my chest out all the time, I just don't care if anyone does. I don't even remember where I got this idea from. You know, I'm always looking at piercing related content on here and on other platforms, and I guess at some point the idea was planted into my head, Inception style. It was like, you should get your nipples pierced. And I was like, yes, but also not during a pandemic. But here's the thing. Who knows when this is gonna end, right? So the more I thought about it recently, the more I was like, a piercing studio is honestly one of the safest places you can be, because the piercing studio that I go to has extreme cleanliness standards and always has. The one that I go to get a piercing there, you have to make an appointment, you can't bring guests, you have to wear a mask, you have to get your temperature checked, you have to sanitize your hands, everything is online, you don't touch anything really. So the more I started thinking about it, the more I was like, actually, a pandemic is a great time to get your nipples pierced if you know of a safe, reputable studio that you can go to. My work wouldn't care if I rolled up in a sports bra every day, but some of y'all's might, and you will definitely be wearing sports bras when your nips are healing. So if you have an office job where you think people might judge you, but if you've been working from home, this is a great time to get them done, baby. Most of us haven't really been going out as much anyway, so you have infinite time to just sit around and heal. But let's go ahead and skip into what it's like how the whole process went down, because this is still fresh in my mind. That's why I'm making the video now, because it's still up there. So I made my appointment online for 6:30 on Friday, and I rolled up at 6:15 on Friday, and I called the studio and I was like, is it too early to come in? And they were like, yes, sit in your car. So I sat in my car, and then at precisely 6:30 they had me come in. So I walked in and I went back to the room, and my piercer, who is amazing and wonderful, measured my nip knops, and we talked about how I wanted to get mine, and I got mine diagonal like this. They look like angry eyebrows. I just think that's a cool look. I know you can do them horizontal. I think you can even do them vertical. I don't know if I've seen them vertical. That might be cool too. But I think most people get them done horizontally. But I just like the look of diagonal. I think it's kind of interesting. They measured my nipples. They figured out the length of the bar. They also kind of, I guess they figured out what gauge they wanted to pierce me at. Which mine were pierced at 12 gauge, which is apparently bigger than a lot of people. Most nipples, according to my research, have been pierced at 14 gauge or even 16. So I don't know why they chose 12. Maybe it was an aesthetic thing. Maybe it was logistical. Maybe it was all they had. I have no idea. But regardless, mine were pierced at 12 gauge. They are big boy bars. I went to the back. They measured me, went back up to the front, picked out my jewelry. I just chose the absolute simplest bars possible. And then they sanitized them for me, and I waited for a while, and I was sweating. I was sweating, I was nervous, I was freaking out. But I was like, I've been saying I'm gonna do this for a while now, I'm gonna do it. I was determined. And you can't bring guests. There is no emotional support people that you can bring with you at this place during these times, because they're, trying to keep the people who come in and out to a minimum, obviously. So I was in there all by myself, just kind of low-key sweating, posting about it on my piercing related Instagram, which is different than my regular Instagram. I think I need to update my link tree to add it on there, but if you're just interested in piercing content, I do have a separate piercing Instagram. Anyway, so I went back and the piercer marked out you know, where the piercings were gonna go, like they do. They did that while I was standing up, and then I checked to make sure that they were good, which they were. And then I lied down on the little table, little chair thing, and this is where it gets really painful. I didn't look down, is the thing. I didn't see it happen, but I did feel it. And y'all, I have gotten a few things pierced at this point. I'm up to 7 now with my nip knobs, but like before that it was 5. The time I got my lobes re-pierced was the most pain I've had before this, but that's only because there was like scar tissue in there, and also because they pierced them at 14 gauge, which I think it hurts more if you get them pierced bigger, but I could be wrong. Didn't look down, I didn't see it, but I did feel it. And I have never screamed before. I've gotten tattoos, I've gotten piercings, some of them have been painful, and I've never screamed. When that needle went through my nip knob, I didn't like fully scream, but I did go, ah! This was one of those things where like my body was like making me make a noise. It was like, do something. And that was all that came out, which is like this pathetic like, ah, for like both of them. We started with the first one, which was the right one. And like some people say that like the first one hurts less than the second one. Not in my experience, because like they both hurt really bad. There really wasn't a difference. For the whole rest of the night I was kind of T-Rexing. I was kind of afraid to like move my arms around too much. Now I can just like be doing this and it's fine, but like the first night I like did not move my arms really unless I absolutely had to. I just kind of had them like this. I went to the grocery store right afterwards because it was like right next door, and I just kind of like grabbed some things, and at one point I dropped something on the floor and I was like just bending over like an old man trying to pick it up. It hurt so much. Now, everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. I've heard some people say that it doesn't hurt at all. I've heard some people say that it hurts more for the second one than the first one. Like I said, both of mine hurt a lot. They both hurt equally. For the rest of the night, I was sitting there. I got like a bag of frozen peas and a bag of frozen edamame, and I was just sitting there on my bed with them on my titties, just like trying to get the pain to cool off. And it did. On Saturday, I would say it kind of felt like a healing bruise. You know how like sometimes bruises are healing and you can tell they're there and they feel kind of weird and kind of itchy, but not like bad per se? It was kind of like that. My good friend and I went on a hike and it was fine, and we drove home and it was fine, and I didn't really have any problems with them. Also, I was told that they would bleed for at least the first couple of days, and I haven't had that at all, and I feel very blessed for that. I've been wearing sports bras with gauze in them and nothing has happened. Nothing has transferred to the gauze, you know, like I haven't had any blood or anything. Also, because I couldn't find this while I was Googling, you do want to wear a sports bra to your appointment if you are getting your nipples pierced, because they're going to put gauze on them, and I guess they could probably like tape it to you if need be, but like in my case, they just kind of like, I held up the gauze and they put the bra over it, so you do want to have something to hold the gauze in place. That being said, you're not going to want to wear anything that's very structured. You don't want to wear like a push-up bra, an underwire, nothing but like, you know, side boning or any of those other like structure things. You just want to be wearing like a sports bra. You also probably won't want to wear a bralette for a while because they tend to have like the mesh or the lace inside, and that's going to like, you know, you could potentially get caught on that, which not advisable. Now I'm on my, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, my third day, my third whole day of having them pierced, and honestly, it's been fine so far. There have been a few lifestyle changes I've made. I'm always wearing sports bras or going braless. Right now I'm not wearing a bra. Also, you're going to want to switch to an unscented body wash, because apparently if you use a scented body wash, it can irritate your piercings. Even if you're not washing your piercings with them, it can still irritate them, especially over time. You might not notice it right away, but the way the piercer was explaining it to me is that eventually you will start feeling it. You will start wondering like, why are my nipples always swollen? And that's going to be it. It'll be because you're using scented body wash. So you want to stay away from that. I personally went out and bought Dr. Bronner's unscented like baby Castile soap or whatever. I've just been kind of cleaning them with like my little non-woven gauze, which is what, when I got my ears re-pierced at the same place where I just got my nipples pierced, that was what they recommended to me. When you use Q-tips, some of like the little fibers can come off and that will kind of mess up your healing process. That's what they say. So I've just been using non-woven gauze and like, you know, the old go-to H2 Ocean, and just kind of like doing some of that action. I really don't like touching them right now because it still hurts when you touch them. It doesn't hurt so much when you're just like vibing and you just like have them out or whatever, but it does hurt when you actually actively touch them, even if you're cleaning them. It's such a sensitive body part to begin with, so it hurts on like a deep level. Like, it's really uncomfortable. Also, I've already done the thing where I hit a titty on the door jamb, and I thought I saw the devil in that moment. It was absolutely terrible. The healing process can apparently take 6 months to like a year. So I guess I won't be swimming for the rest of the year. I also don't think I'm going to change out my jewelry like ever. When I got my septum pierced, I was like looking forward to switching it out for like a really long time. But for these, I cannot picture myself changing out my nipple jewelry very often, especially because like no one's going to see it. And also because they're pierced diagonally, really all I can wear is barbells anyway. Like, I've seen some really cool nipple shields, but I think those would look really weird if I wore them because of the angle they're pierced at, which was something that the piercer brought up, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. The thought of changing out like a piercing that's in such like a sensitive part of the body just wigs me out a little bit. I like having them pierced, but the thought of changing out the jewelry just makes me kind of uncomfortable. I don't know if that makes any sense. In terms of like whether or not I like them, yes, I love them. Would I get them re-pierced? Like, if they were to come out, or if I were to take them out, would I get them re-pierced? No. Probably not. That's how bad the pain was. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went through with it. I'm glad I have them. They look dope as hell. But would I get them redone? No. That was like the worst pain I've had in my life. It was, maybe not in my life, that's kind of dramatic, but it was pretty bad. Like, just thinking about it makes me cringe still. Maybe I'll get them redone in a few years when I forgot how bad the pain was. You know how sometimes you like forget how bad something was? But I just plan on leaving them in for the rest of my life. I'm never getting them redone. But as for like how I feel with them, I love them. I think they look super cool. I actually kind of look forward to going to parties again for a lot of reasons, obviously, but also because I like want to show off my nipple piercings at parties with people's consent, of course. Like, I didn't really, I don't want to stray too far into TMI category, but I was discontent with the way my nipples looked. They were just kind of flat. I thought they were inverted, but it turns out they weren't, with like pretty like big flat areoli. And now they are less flat because when you get them pierced, the like raised part just kind of always is sticking up, whereas like before mine were kind of dormant, if that makes any sense. So now they are just always kind of not like full-on cold weather perky, but like perkier than they were, if you catch my drift. So I actually really like that effect because like it kind of gives them some framing. It gives them some like structure, I guess. I really like the way they look. I keep looking at them. I'm very excited about it. Like, I've never been so excited to see my own chest. Honestly, I can't wait to have like a partner again so that I can like show them my nipples and they can be like, whoa, there's metal and like, you know. I've also heard that getting them pierced can increase sensitivity. I don't know about that. I haven't tested that theory. I don't know if I will. It's whatever. Like, that's not the reason why I got them done. I got them done because they look tight. They look sick. They look dope. They look cool. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's a really cool piercing, and I think they look good on everyone. Like, I've seen, whenever you Google nipple piercings, you usually see like people with tiny nips getting done. They look cool. Mine look cool. Yours would look cool. If you're watching this because you think you might get yours pierced, do it because it looks cool, and you'll look cool, and you'll feel cool. I think that's really all I have to say about the nipple piercing experience. I hope that it was cohesive and coherent. I hope it made sense. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, or if you have yours pierced, or if you just want to talk about it, then leave me a comment, and I'll see you probably next week, maybe sooner, who knows.